Today I am going to mark this activity. I think I gave it to you as a classwork in the previous video. It was about Letu. So Letu borrowed 160,000 from Cat Loans. Letu intends to repay the loan over 7 years. Interest on the loan is calculated at 11.25% per annum, simple interest. We need to calculate the amount that Letu will have to pay over 7 years and how much extra will Letu have paid after 7 years. Now, for us to calculate what Letu will owe after 7 years, we need to use the simple interest because whatever Letu owes us now, Letu will have to repay it with interest in the future. And that amount that we're trying to find, the future amount will be A. Here we are required to calculate A, where we are given that P, which is the present amount of the loan that Letu borrowed, P will be 160, and our interest rate will be 11.25%. And according to A, N will be 7. Now, to calculate A, you will simply substitute all of those into the formula. Where there is P, you will substitute 160,000. Where there is I, you will substitute 11.25%. And where there is N, you will substitute 7. Putting this into your calculator, it will give you 286,000. And that's how much Letu will have to pay back after 7 years. How much extra will Letu have paid after 7 years? That is your interest. And to calculate your interest, you will use the formula I is equals to P times I times 7. P is 160, I is 11.25%, and N is 7, and that will give you 126,000, which is the interest of the loan. Otherwise, you could have just taken A, which is 286,000, subtracted P, which is 160,000, and you were going to get that 126,000 rand. Okay. Try this one, give yourself 5 minutes and do it. Now, to find solutions here, this is what you will do. Note that here interest was given to you as a percentage per month. So what you needed to do was just to use N. To find N, it has to be in months. Because your interest rate is per month, your N had to be in months. That's why you had to take those 4 years and change it into months. 4 times 12, that was going to give you 48, and you put it into your calculator. And when you put it into your calculator, A was going to be 612,000. Okay, the only difference between this and the previous one is that here interest was given to you per month. And the fact that it was given to you per month, it meant that N couldn't be in years. N also had to be monthly. And that's why we took 4 and we multiply that by 12. Putting it into your calculator, we're going to get 612,000. The extra amount that Tabo would have had to pay was going to be 180 times 5% times 48, which was going to give you 432,000. Okay. Now let's get to hire purchase. What is hire purchase agreement? A hire purchase agreement allows the buyer to take possession of goods purchased and pay for them later. The buyer may choose to pay a deposit or pay the remainder over an agreed period. The amount owed will be net of deposit and trade discount. So amount owed, which is what we normally refer to as P. P will be the purchase price minus the cash deposit, and then you minus the trade discount. Now, People get lost because they miss these definitions, which are very, very important. The amount that the buyer still owes will accumulate by simple interest. So interest will increase whatever the amount that the buyer was owing. Note that the buyer will only owe the amount, the purchase price of the item, excluding the discount, okay? And for us to determine the amount that will accumulate over an agreed period, we are going to use the simple interest formula, where P is the amount still owing, which is the same as the product price minus the cash deposit, and then you minus the trade discount. A will be the amount to be repaid at the end of the agreement. I is the annual interest rate, and is the agreement period. Now, to get your monthly repayments will be the accumulated amount divided by the agreement period times 12, because the agreement period will normally be given to you in years. So you will multiply that by 12 to get the period in months. And then you add the monthly insurance premium. Now, I will do this later on, and I realized I noticed when I was teaching my kids in class that immediately when I spoke about this formula, already they forgot about my explanation and explained the notes. They had no idea as to where I'm getting the formula, and I had done it with them, and it was there in their books. So you need to make sure that you watch this video before you check out the next videos, which will be on examples, because I will be applying just these formulas. Okay, now, like for instance, I gave them this example about Mariana. Okay, Mariana purchased an iPhone for 16,000. You see, that 16,000 is the purchase price from iStore. She paid 10% as a deposit. So here I didn't give you what the deposit is. You had to calculate the deposit. And for you to calculate the deposit, you will take that 16,000, you multiply it by 10%. That will be your deposit, which will be 1,600. Now, that's where most of my kids actually got lost. They don't understand, why am I saying 1,600 is a deposit? It's because you've been told that Mariana paid 10% of the price of the iPhone. The price of the iPhone is 16,000, but Mariana paid 10% of that 16,000, and 10% of that 16,000 will be 1,600. Now, to determine how much Mariana still owes according to this agreement, you will take the purchase price of 16,000 and minus the discount, and the discount that you're going to subtract will be that 1,600. That's how you find P, which is the amount that Mariana still owes. According to the agreement, Mariana will make monthly repayments for the remainder over a period of 6 years. Please note that the remainder is the 16,000 minus 1,400. So right at the beginning of this agreement, Mariana is owing us 14,400 because she paid 1,600 as a deposit. And then it says, obviously, whatever that 14,400, Mariana will have to pay over 6 years. The applicable interest rate is 12% per annum, simple interest. Question one, how much will Mariana owe iStore at the inception, right at the beginning of the transaction after paying the initial deposit? How much will Mariana owe after 6 years? In total, how much will Mariana pay over the 6-year period? Calculate the monthly repayment that Mariana will pay over a period of 6 years. And if a 6-month insurance premium of 1,200 is required to insure the phone, what will be the total required monthly repayment? Now, to calculate this, we are going to basically read what we are given. Now, if you check the previous videos, I have specified how to subtract percentages. So if a person only pays us 10% deposit, to determine how much they owe us, they will owe us 90%. Okay, they won't owe us 100%, or owe us 90% because they've paid 10% deposit. And I've done this earlier on, where I said you take the amount that you are reducing this. So the purchase price here is 16,000. You times it by 100 minus the percentage discount. In this case, the percentage discount is 10%. When you times 16,000 with 90%, it'll give you 14,400. owe. To determine how much Mariana will owe at the inception of the transaction, you will take that 16,000 and minus the discount. But the discount is just 10% of 16,000. So that's why I said 16,000 minus 16,000 times 10%. So that is the discount. That 16,000 times 10% is the discount. So this here is the discount. This here is the discount. Okay, so Mariana will owe the purchase price minus the discount. The discount will be 1,600. 16,000 minus 1,600. At the inception of this transaction, Mariana will owe us 14,400. That was the first question. B asked us, how much will Mariana owe after 6 years? Now, that's where they're asking us the amount that Mariana will owe if no payment. Obviously, in this case, we just have to determine how much Mariana will owe after 6 years. Know that whatever Mariana took right now, whatever Mariana is owing us right now, will attract interest for the agreement period. The agreement period is 6 years. And for us to determine the accumulated amount, including interest, we have to use this formula, where A is the accumulated amount, which is the amount that we are looking for after 6 years. P is the purchase price, excluding the deposit and discount. I is the annual interest rate. And N is the agreement period. Now, to calculate this, where there is P, you put in the purchase price minus the discount. At the moment, how much is Mariana owing us right now? At the date the agreement was signed, at the date that Mariana decided to buy the iPhone, at that specific date, Mariana will be owing 14,400. You increase it by your interest rate, and you will notice that when you put this into your calculator, Mariana, after 6 years, will be owing us 24,768. Now, in total, how much will Mariana pay over the period, the 6-year period, will have paid over the 6-year period? Now, to determine, here they're not saying what Mariana is owing. They're asking you, in total, how much will Mariana have paid? Note that Mariana will have paid that 24,768 plus the initial deposit, which was 1,600. It's always A plus the deposit. A is 24,768. The deposit was 1,600. Basically, after 6 years, Mariana will have paid 26,368. A lot of people just assume that Mariana will have paid 24,768. They forgot that Mariana, at the beginning of the this agreement, already paid 1,600. Yes, after 6 years, Mariana will have paid 24,768, but plus the initial deposit that was paid. Okay. Let's say I'm giving you one example. I sell scones to you for 10 rand, right? And then you decide to give me a deposit of 1 rand. How much are you going to owe me? You're going to owe me 9 rand. By that 9 rand, I can say that for every day that you're not paying, I'm going to add an interest of 1 rand to it. After 5 days, how much are you going to owe me? You're going to owe me 14 rand. Do you get it? Now, if I was to ask you in total, how much would you have paid for that packet of cakes? What will be your answer? You would have paid me the 14 rand, which is the amount you owed me plus your interest. But you would have also paid me. Do you remember that 1 rand that you gave me when you took a packet of cakes? That 1 rand would also be part of it. And that's why we add in the deposit to determine the total amount that you would have paid. So basically, for buying this packet of cakes or scones on credit, you would have paid me 15 rand. It is that 1 rand that you paid me when you took the scones, and plus the 1 rand interest that I charged you for 5 days, and plus the amount that you will owe me, which is the 9 rand, which will give you 15 rand in total. I'm hoping that actually clarifies what I meant. Okay, now D wants us to calculate monthly repayments that Mariana must have paid over a period of 6 years. Now, for us to determine monthly repayments, this is where my kids forgot this formula. Remember that formula that I specified earlier on? I'll go back to it. This formula here. This is all I use to determine the monthly repayments. We have our A. In this example, A was 24,768. You just take it, you divide it by 6 times 12. Okay, remember I said it's an agreement period multiplied by 12. Here the agreement period is 6, you multiply it by 12. The reason why I have 0 is because insurance was not given here, so insurance is 0. The monthly repayments that Mariana will have to make will be 344. If it was a decimal, make sure you round it off to 2 decimal places. But here, it was not a decimal, so there was no point of rounding it off. Now, it says if a 6-month insurance premium of 1,200 was required to insure the phone, what will be the total required monthly repayments? Remember, we already know what our monthly repayments are. There will be 344. But here, if we add interest, how much will they be? Firstly, you have to find out what the insurance premium will be per month by taking that 1,200 and dividing it by 6. 1,200 dividing it by 6 will give you 200. And then you add it to the repayments that we still have to make. Basically, for the next 6 months, Mariana will have to pay 544 rand, okay, for the next 6 months, because that insurance is only for 6 months. For the next 6 months, Mariana will have to pay us that 544. Hope that makes sense, okay. Now, please try out this example. This classwork here is about SDN. Okay, try it out. And please check out the next video for solutions to this. Okay, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Do not forget to subscribe and do not forget to comment or like the video. Ke a leboha. Kgotso.